Greetings and salutations, Internet. Happy New Year. Hope this year is better than 2020 and 2025 combined. 'Cause I know those were great years for you. 2020, wow. It's just like if the year is divisible by five, it's like it's automatically going to be a great year. However, I think 2026 has the potential to be even better than both of those years combined. Fingers crossed. For your sake. I tell people that, and people are just like, dude, this year has been horrible. 2020 has been horrible. One person was like, yeah, that was the year I was suicidal. I was ready to end it all. I was like, oh, I don't remember. Because they were talking about something called it was, what was it? Convid? No, COVID. COVID. I didn't even know what that was. I think it was like local to certain parts of the state. No. Best wishes for you and the new year. Oh yeah, no, I'm working on a new employee evaluation. Um, and it's gonna feel like an old one because it was someone who I made a video on before employee evaluations existed. As a matter of fact, it's like a precursor to employee evaluations. It was like um, a format that I started to use for employee evaluations. But then the person who I made the video about started trending again because they continue to be trifling. And I don't want to ruin the surprise on what the evaluation is going to be. But it is more so an indictment on the culture that has not only continued to be pervasive, it got worse. You know, we got like the OnlyFans and just some of the most trifling people out there, and it's encouraged by the algorithm because uh, when YouTube started targeting channels like myself is because I was a counter to a lot of their bullshit. You know, it was like I was poking fun at a lot of the stuff that the culture wanted me to continue. You know, when they were trying to get me to do that reality TV shit, and I was calling out the garbage real time, like calling out all of the companies like Full Screen and AT&T and all these motherfuckers. Um, Now they got a compliant bunch of people. You know, like and if you can see anybody who's not being censored, and not only are they not being censored, they're being elevated. It's because they are a tool. They are the problem. And yeah. So well, yeah, it's gonna like I said, it's gonna feel like an older employee evaluation because it someone who I made a video about, but it wasn't before employee evaluations existed. You get extra points if you can figure out who it is, and it's just like yeah, just and it's crazy because when I was looking for the video to uh add to the evaluation, I found out that this chick is from my area. Like I pass through her city all the time. She's like 15 minutes away from my hometown. And it was just like it was funny. And this was crazy enough. It was the first video that I got recognized in public for, where someone was quoting my video back to me, was the video of me talking about her. I'll never forget it. So I was like riding my bike. This is when I was Nate Thicker. I was trying to become Nathan. Uh, so I was on my bike, and a car drove by me, and they started yelling out, "Banana face, banana face," um, which sounds insulting because I'm of a yellow complexion, but it was them quoting the video that I just made about her. I should be able to tell you who it was. Um, your takedowns of employee Mia behavior were always on point. Mia. Wait, me MIA? I don't know. Let's see. And I'm sorry, didn't realize there was stuff going on over here. All right. But yeah, that was I figured it's a good way to start the year off, employee evaluation and a rewind. So those are going to be over at nateflix.net. Also, if you're streaming, I'm using a much better quality camera over there, better angle. It's just ironic because this is always the more popular or more uh, uh, higher commented area. Just like Instagram gets more comments than any other place typically. I mean, sometimes I get some chatty Cathy's on the other stuff. Last time I got more chatty Cathy's, but I didn't even check the chat until much longer into the video, and people had gotten tired of sending me shit. I would say I apologize, but I did what I did. But yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's also the employee evaluation is coming up. It's needed because I got like some loved ones who have been making some mistakes that I made when I was younger, and it's just like you got that DNA, that hardwiring in you to make certain mistakes when it comes to people who have certain assets, assets and whatnot. Like you get into a lot of trouble. And I also got like one of my jobs is a mentor, so I got mentees who are making some of those same mistakes, and they just sound as dumb as the people who I'm evaluating because the way they rationalize shit. It's like one of the things I want to shake people's mind of because it is a disturbing trait when people can be like in the pursuit of getting some pussy. Motherfuckers will buy a bunch of name brands, expensive ass jeans, purses, or whatever the fuck to impress some chick. They'd spend all their money on these brands where the owner, if they saw you in their neighborhood, they would call the cops. They'd have you arrested. Matter of fact, when they see you walking up to the store, they dial 911 and then they wait until you leave to dial the other one so they can have you arrested for trespassing after you spend your money at their shop. You end up funding your own fucking oppressor. You fund your enemies. And you gleefully do it because you think that's getting you some kind of points. And, and it's just like, if you're going to wear any brand, brands are for cattle. Like what happens to cattle? They get slaughtered. But if you're going to wear any brand, they should be paying you because you're paying extra to advertise for them. And they don't give a fuck about you. And if you like the chick I'm evaluating, and then not just her, it's a culture where it's just like certain, it was like some chick, she got arrested. She stole her sugar daddy's credit card to go buy a $3,000 purse. Just like who would do that? Who does that kind of shit? Like, what kind of conditioning do you have to see that to think that shit is valuable? A purse for $3,000. Like, who you have to know that brand. You have to give a shit about it. And I got like family like this too. I had a sister. Uh, I have a family member who like would show up like with casts on her legs. She'd have broken arms, broken fingers, and whatnot. And then she'd be showing like like a new purse or a new car, new ring, all this shit. Find out a few years later, every time she was showing that off all this new shit is because her husband at the time was beating the shit out of her. Then he'd go and buy her a new trinket to make up for the fact that she had to go to the hospital. Every hospital visit came with a new doodad. and she thought she saw so much value in this bullshit. She thought it was more valuable than her own safety and health. And she would just take glee in having these little fucking bullshit purses. And then like she's telling me like about the damn person. I'm like, I don't know shit about it. And she's like, oh, trust me, it's super expensive. Like, who the fuck cares? And then I cared even less, and I cared more. But like I just wish she valued her own health after finding out how she got all this bullshit. And now it's just like certain people they continue to perpetuate it. Like they see values even in shit like Jordans. Jordan is not like I don't associate that. That's not like a black brand. Something going to the community. Even if Jordan is getting 250 million a year, like it's just like Nike is garbage. Jordan is garbage. Jordan is like he had all that. I hate when people say he's the best player of anything because I'm like it's not about like all of that sports is meaningless. 10 years from now, it doesn't matter who wins the championship. But when you had the spotlight, what did you do with it? Jordan said, he stayed out of politics. He was like, Republicans got to buy shoes too. Like he did not rock the boat, right? So anybody who's like charging $600, $1,000 to poor people, getting them to fight and kill each other for shoes, they're an enemy to the community. And a lot of these people, people who they call celebrities, they want us to turn into household names. They are the new colonizers, the new pilgrims. The pilgrims. What did they do? They didn't know how to make their own food. They didn't know how to do anything. All they did was kill, steal, loot, and create narratives that justified the shit they did. Right, and now it's just like you got like all of anybody military, which is most of my family. It's just like we don't get trained to farm. We don't have like the skills to survive and thrive without all kinds of intervention from the people the people from the shithole countries. Like we depend on their kindness to keep us alive. And really, it was just like we depend on the weaponry that we stole from China to go over there and rob them and take their shit. It's a jack move. Who dat Jordan? Who dat Jordan? Jordan Peele. No, I forget the name, but no, Michael Jordan. It was garbage individual. That's why he's got the Nazi mustache. Probably still. I don't know. Don't keep up with him. I get hurt when I see people hyping up his shoes. I had my ex, her friends, they went to one of those shoe conventions, which I didn't know existed. But they went like looking for these limited edition everything, and I'm like, these shoes they get stupid expensive. Like they got shoes that go over $100,000. Like they were taking pride in the fact that they got these one Jordans for like $2,000. I'm like, y'all are crazy. This is ridiculous. That is it is asinine to think. And it's just like it's shoes made by slave labor. It'd be one thing if you bought that and the money went into helping the community, like you're helping underprivileged children, you're helping people get away from slave labor, but it's like you're encouraging slave labor and you're just putting money in the hands of these corporations that the people who run it. If, like I said, if they saw you in their neighborhood, they will call the cops on you, and you give them all of your money, and you think that makes you cool, and you're paying this extra money for to advertise for them because you're wearing the brand. It's just like if brands are for cattle. Anytime you see someone flexing, they got like some bullshit brand. They like I paid $12,000 for this. Like laugh at them. Like you're that weak. you need to buy 12 this ugly ass 12,000 piece of garbage, and you think that makes you better? Makes you stupid. Waste of money, absolutely. 30 worth of material and a lot of hype behind them. Well, that's like the thing, and yeah, and it is disgusting when I see just young people perpetuating it like it's just is normal, And I just think of like my dad used to try to convey this shit to me when I was younger. Cause I used to get caught up in the hype, but I never paid more than $200 for shoes. That being said, I had some shoes that were worth more than that, but people gave them to me. I got friends give them to me. I had like little partnerships with companies where I got like stuff like that. I never paid for any of that shit. But like I remember I was trying to get these uh one Nikes, like these Air Forces, or no, not Air Force, it was like Air Maxes, and it was like 130. I was trying to get my dad to get them for me. Um, my dad used to take us to a place called Big Five. Like because I was just super big. I needed Nikes. A matter of fact, I didn't give a shit about it until any of that shit until I hit puberty. Right. Then I had my sister in my ear. She's like telling me you got to have this to be official and all that. So I used to like stress my dad to go get us these overpriced Nikes. Uh, um, we used to get them from Big Five, which I didn't give a shit about because I was like, I just saw the brand and I thought it was like I was good because it's like no one's gonna call me poor because I got the right brand. Then my sister, that's the ones who be fucking you up, the ones closest to you, make you think you need that shit. Um, her and her people, they used to bust on me. Then she was like, she wanted these. It was like these Gradient Air Maxes. It was like $130. I used to shame my dad for not, getting me the super expensive ones, and he was just trying to tell me like, I don't give a shit about that. You got shoes on your feet. I didn't have that when I was a kid. He was like, you don't need none of that. People you trying to impress, they're gonna be doing the same shit 10 years from now. He was right. But I was like, I was just so caught up in it. So I ended up getting, a job. That's when I started like getting my own shit. Then I started like embezzling money at a job. That's when I started getting way more expensive shit. I remember Fubu was some of the ugliest shit to me. Then I started getting like that embezzlement money, and I got a platinum Fubu jean fit, most expensive shit you could buy. Also the ugliest shit. So it's like after school finished, a lot of the clothes that I had, I continued to wear, except for that Fubu shit, the most expensive shit that I bought because it was like so fucking ugly. None of it, like I wanted nothing to do with it. It was just laughably bad, and the trend had ended, and I was just like a hype beast for that at the time. And then I just caught myself, and then after I finished school and all that shit, that's when I started like getting $7 t-shirts, just get what I liked, regardless of, if it had a certain brand name or any of that. Then I just started, I started selling clothes too. So I had a better um, idea of how much this shit costs, and had access to whatever the fuck I wanted. And then when I wanted, like, uh, uh, really, I really got away from brands when I got into doing the television online stuff. A lot of the stuff, if you work for any show, you can't wear a brand. Then I started doing partner deals. I'm like, if these motherfuckers ain't paying me, I'm not going to advertise for anybody. And it's just, I better understood the corporations. I got to meet some of the people at the top. I'm like, these are horrible people. We shouldn't be giving them money in the first place. Uh, uh, and then I just get, like I said, when I see young people thinking like I used to think. That's what hurts me because it's like you fucking ignoramus. But how can you? You know, it's just like I feel like my dad when he was trying to tell me what was up, but you ain't listening because you got a circle of people telling you you're inadequate. You need this check right here. You need these 3 stripes. You need whatever the fuck they're on that week. But it's all some ugly garbage. Great boots, but they used to be cheaper. Or I like Timberlands. I mean, I got my own boots, Tim adjacent. I mean, Timberlands. I was interested in getting some, but like you said, they got super expensive. So I got like some cheaper ones that I like better. Oh, and I used to go to the Timberland fucking outlet. They used to have some deals there, but last time I went, it was still expensive as fuck. Had to come to Rumble to hear. Oh, I didn't know you couldn't hear me on Rumble. Let's see what's going on. Come from Rumble to here. So that's something worth looking into. Waste of money. Oh, 1 second. I love his ability to play basketball, but never could afford stuff. And if I would be a target to get robbed. Well, and that's one thing that, like I said, I $200 was my hard limit for shoes, like for what I spent on myself. But I had a friend give me some $600 Jordans, right? I didn't know they were $600 when I got them. Other people told me about them, like those the OVOs or some shit, right? And yeah, someone was like, "Yeah, those are like $600 shoes." I was like, "These you could have got me robbed with these motherfuckers if I would have came across the right grimy motherfucker, you know, pistol packing. It could have been some ugly shit." Recently had about materialism around UGG boots. Took a chance on some $20 boots, and they lasted longer than any other expensive shoes I bought this year. Well, there you go. It's always good when you find like that great value. Not great value to brand, but you know what I'm saying. I would buy Nike shoes though, just the basic cross trainers. Yeah, see, I'm gonna show you the ones I just made. I got that Pan African Liberation coloring right there. SNCC kicks. I don't know if you're familiar with SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, president. Uh, and I got the dressier shoes with the sparkle laces. Got uh, this is the scarab. And I got the Lion of Zion or Lion of Judah, depending on what you call it. In Ethiopia, it's not like a Nike check, but all of that shit means a lot more than Nike checks. That's why I call it radically threaded. Because it's just like my shit is it's not gonna be a brand name. It's gonna say something a little bit more important. Uh, you teach now. Uh, I I'm in the education business. I'm in the business of knowledge distribution. My playlist is kind of like a college institution. And the reason why I focus on the unity and grouping is if you knew what I knew, then you would start a revolution. Um, Clothes they make today are not made to last anymore. Not worth the money. Planned obsolescence. They don't want you to keep it. They want you to get some new shit. Would rather support white owned brands. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like you put money in the hands of the enemy. These motherfuckers will kick you out of the neighborhood. They will call the cops on you if they see you anywhere near their house. but you paying $1,000 for their fucking pants, the $3,000 for their shoes. That's why rappers, anybody who rap about that kind of shit. I remember I worked on a Beyonce show, and I was debating on if I should go in early to catch the her performance, and I was like, let me listen, because I don't know Beyonce stuff like that. I was like, the stuff I knew was the stuff she did with Jay-Z, because I listened to Jay-Z, and I was like, I started playing the songs that I knew, and it was just like it was nothing but like it was like purse commercials. It's like, Jay-Z, I'm talking bloom bags and hoom bags and talking about a bunch of garbage shit that I'm like, who the fuck listens to this? Like motherfuckers talking about $5,000 purses. Who is this marketed towards? I was like, I don't even want to go check that shit out. And all of those brands they mentioned, like one of them, they got what was it? It was a security guard killed some black dude who was at one of them, who was about to buy some shit. I'm just like, that's why it's a Jeezy song. What is it? It's a Almighty Black Dollar. He's like talking Miss Fendi and Gucci is goofy. Because you're talking about all the shit that people talk about, the brands and shit. People think give them credibility. It's like you're advertising for them for free, and then you're also going and paying stupid amounts of money for their ugly ass shit, and they laugh at you. I remember it was it Jay-Z, like all throughout the '90s and early 2000s. He just kept talking about, he kept being free advertisement for Cristal, the brand. I mean, a lot of rappers, they talk about the Moet too. I actually tried Moet. That was just garbage, utter garbage. All the hype, all the rappers, Biggie talked about it, everybody talked about it. That was garbage, sour piss. But like Jay-Z, he talked about Cristal all the fucking time. I remember my boy, his uncle was a rapper, and he had like Cristal bottles that he filled with apple juice, and he brought to school, and he was like flossing like we were drinking Cristal. But yeah, lo and behold, the owner of Cristal hated black people, and Jay-Z, he had to put out a song like, "Oh yeah, Cristal, I have to move away from that because you don't like black people." Just like none of these motherfuckers do. Like Tommy Hilfiger hated black people. He had a bunch of black people thinking that brand was royalty in the hood in certain parts of the '90s and whatnot. And it's just like, yeah, if y'all gonna be spending any of that money and it's not making your community better, if you was buying from like your cousin friend who was like making, say, I got my own sewing machine, motherfucker. I could sell you some fucking labels on some shit. Give me $10,000. I'll put it in the community. I'll put it in somebody's stomach, and help people who need it. I won't call the cops on you if the police come at you. I got your back. I'll film it. I'll do something. I'm not gonna be the one to oppress you. But you put your money in the hands of the oppressors, and we popularize it, and we think it's cool to walk around with this shit. Like I said, next time you see someone wearing that goofy shit, call them out. Just be like, well, you what is it? What was that ugly ass shit? Oh my god. Because I didn't know how expensive this shit was. What the fuck was it? Uh, Oh, so it's like it's eluding me. It was like some shit that I did not realize. It looks like all the clothes look like just shit from the thrift store, like already ripped up and fucked up, and you'll be paying like thousands of dollars for this ugly ass shit. And I can and part of me is happy I can't remember it, because it was just like I was like disappointed to realize motherfuckers were paying for this shit. Good to see you, bro. Good to be seen. Happy New Year. I love the Great Value brand. Their cereal is better than the OGs. Well, I try to avoid Walmart. I know that's a Walmart brand. Um, those are fly. Appreciate it. You got that late 80s, early 90s look. Is that what we're calling it? I prefer timeless. Cross Colors, Carl Kanai. These were brands I loved. I mean, I had some Carl Kanai boots that look kind of like Timberlands at one point. Uh, but Carl Kanai, KK, they're K away from. I question. It's just like you get in Washington. It's like multiple cities that start with K, and it's just I feel like that shit is no coincidence. A lot of Klan members, and you know, like certain areas, California, Washington, your races they're a lot more cowardly. Like they don't not vocal about their racism like down in the South. I actually prefer the Southern way. Well, motherfucker, they don't like you, they tell you to your face. Um, you know, in certain areas motherfuckers pretend they like you. They like I hate when people call black people niggers. I hate racism, but then they'll go and support the policies that go and target your community. You know they support everything that destroys you, but they won't say the N word. Motherfucker, just say call me a nigga so I know it's you. I will rock them now. I prefer the streetwear brands. Only designer shit I like is designer fragrances. That's the only designer I like, man. I even make my own shit. I got my own anointed oils. You know, I add what I like. And plus, it has the dual benefit of being good for the skin. You know, Tommy loved the money he get from black people. Yeah, he loved that. He laugh at you when he see you wearing it. He's like, look at those niggers over there. I paid. They paid $800 for that damn jersey. I remember I had a family member who was running licks, like where he would have people write checks that he would bounce, and then he would get a bunch of shit. He would do this shit at stuff like Macy's. So one time he got me like a bunch of Tommy shit. He got me like it was a Tommy Hilfiger fucking a soccer jersey, and it was like I got it and it had the price tag still on it, and this was like in the 90s. It said $140. I'm like, whoa. I wore that shit all the time because I thought that the amount of money meant that's how dope it was, right? Then I used to, I got compliments, which my confidence was. I think that's what really got the confidence because I was just like, oh, this I know this is expensive because I used to get shit. Most of my shit was from the thrift store. Hand me downs. I used to get bags of hand me downs. Like my cousin's old shit. I didn't feel fly because they got rid of it. They're like, I don't even want this shit anymore. And put it in the bag and gave it to me. So I was like getting confidence and I was getting compliments along with it. Then I had my sister. She destroyed that shit on purpose. Like she destroyed a bunch of the shit that I got. She put bleach in it. She washed it with the whites. Man, it's just on some hating shit. Crab in a barrel. Uh, yeah. So it's just like yeah. But looking back, it was just that shit wasn't really dope. It was a thick like the shit looked the numbers were like fucking shag rug. Oh, man, that was like super long ago. That was like the yeah. That it was a period where I used to go to Macy's. I used to get shit from Macy's, and that my brother was running licks. Like I said, that was free shit. I mean, he paid for it, and then ran scams, and got the shit back. So it was like it was free. He paid for it up front, but then it was really free. It was running a scam. Went to jail for it too, but it's a longer story. It's my own ignorance as to why, but there's a disconnect between the black consumer and the black merchant in my experience with small businesses. as a freelancer. I don't care about the community either. Well, and that's where we need to uh, make something happen. We need to actually. One of the things I wanted to do, like, because I'm working with the organization, we're doing a trip to Africa, and I wanted to establish commerce with um, what was supposed to be in Ghana, and I wanted to go to Burkina Faso. Because they're right now they're being targeted by the government, but they're kicking the Western influences out. I want to be able to get their goods, like the African print fabrics, the golds and all that stuff. Uh, Create, infuse it into uh, other clothing. Just like make it American, like fuse the American with the African, and you know, can have a continued collaboration with these countries, so we can actually fund um, countries who are shaking off the oppressors and in a tangible way. And that's what if you haven't followed Radically Threaded, please do that because as that develops, that is the goal. Um, to put money in the hands of the revolutionaries who need it, to keep all that shit local. Definitely, if you're gonna be spending stupid amounts of money, putting it in the hands of people who hate you, like I said, it could be better spent. Stay radically threaded. We need to bring back employee evaluations for the Trump administration. Well, you missed probably the beginning, but yeah, I was talking about the upcoming employee evaluation. And then, there's been other evaluations discussing just the governments in general. Everybody's fired. We need to build our own shit is the Reader's Digest version of it. But Netflix.net, you can catch up with the new and old employee evaluations. The first one of 2026 is coming up, as well as the newest rewind from it's going to be posted in 2026, but it's actually hella old. It's hella old. I shot it a while ago. It's just, yeah. But yeah, Netflix.net. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I meant they don't care about the community. I've had businesses refuse to pay after I finish my services. Uh, that's unfortunate. And it's just like we got to do better. We got to, but also a lot of people just struggling like a motherfucker. And if you pay attention, the only people who can really extract money, like guaranteed money, are the people who are connected to the government, because then they have like mechanisms that other folks don't have. So like you look at what's going on in areas like Detroit, right? When they had all that toxic shit in their water, people were being poisoned. You couldn't even shower with it, right? Um, the water companies, which are private, they made it so you have to pay for the water, even though the water was all garbage. It was a toxic sludge coming out. Like you were legally obligated to pay for it. People were having their kids taken away when they couldn't pay for it. It was just like, yeah, it's they can force the money out of your hands when they're that connected, and that's the kind of connect we should be having. Like these, all of these private entities should be publicly owned. Like we talk about PG&E or any electric company, it shouldn't be a private owner to any of that shit. Shouldn't be private owners to the water. When we talk about essential shit, it should be publicly owned. Um, and all government subsidies shouldn't be going to people like Elon Musk. One of the things that make me sick is all this hate against the Somali people. They want us to hate the people in Minnesota. Simultaneously, while they're creating something called Somaliland, which is the West stealing parts of Somalia and giving it to these trained militant, pro-Western, pro-Israeli, vile, basically like what they're doing to Venezuela. What was the name? Corachado, the chick who won the fucking Nobel Peace Prize. They got like similar people in Somalia. They're still in something called Somaliland. Then out here, they're getting us to hate on Somalians in Minnesota. It's like, oh, they won't let us see the kids in these um, daycares. That they're scamming us, and it's just like it is one particular African who has scammed more than anybody in the world from the American government, and nobody says shit about it. And this motherfucker is the richest man in the world. If you haven't figured out, I'm talking about Elon Musk, $700 billion that he stole from us. All right, this motherfucker has $1 trillion package from Tesla that's supposed to be coming, even though Tesla doesn't sell that many cars. And if they did, like, he shouldn't be getting that much of it, because like we talk about the people who actually create the shit. He did not create Tesla. He bought the shit. He did not create Twitter. He bought it, called it X. Only motherfucker I call X is Malcolm. All right. He just uses his privilege and connection to the government to get more money, which he uses to have more privilege, to get to do more, buy more shit, and it's just it's a never-ending cycle. The biggest scammer in the world, and they want us to hate a bunch of Somalians in Minnesota. If we really want to stop these African scammers, let's go to Elon's house. I got the armor. Everybody who show up, you'll get a prize. Honestly, hold on. This okay. Can't take care of someone else if you can't take care of yourself. Yes, the revolution won't be televised or monetized. Somali versus Minnesota was hilarious episode of America. Yeah, it is crazy. And like I said, if anybody who piled up on the Somali train, especially if you're a black person and you just piled on and didn't have shit to say about the other African scamming, shame, 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 shame. Yo, what to do? We gain our freedom here in America. That's what 2026 needs to be about. Strong arm it. Don't ask for it. No, you don't ask for freedom. You assert your freedom. You go to the people who are trying to oppress you, and you just like, yoink, that's our money. You get locked up. We're sending you to Venezuela. We're sending you to Iran. We're like locking up your boy, sending you to the Hague, Netanyahu, all these war criminals. Like we need the reason shit is so fucked up. There's no accountability. You want to talk about why America's so fucked up is because we have fucked up incentive structures. You do all the worst shit, you get rewarded, right? You're a monopolist. You're greedy as fuck. You put all local businesses out of business. So everything is McDonald's, Walmart, Taco Bell. We ain't got the local burger spots. We ain't got the local anything anymore. You do that, you get rewarded. No longer. Like this is a cycle. We need a break. We need to be the cycle breakers. We are the ones we've been waiting for. You know, they want us to have this Christian ideology of waiting for a savior, a white savior to come and do shit for us. But if you're an actual Christian, was your Jesus revolutionary? Are you a revolutionary? Are you gonna go and whip the money changers? Are you gonna because the moral of the Bible was supposed to be, if we were all Jesus like, Jesus wouldn't have been punished. If everybody was a revolutionary, they wouldn't have had one person to target. You know, they didn't have enough shekels of silver to pay for everybody to be tortured and killed. You know, so let's do something about it. Honestly, I'd be for a diasporic approach to black commerce. Yes, let's make it happen. Just to throw in the air, do you think about what do you think about most slaves in America being the indigenous people? Um, I think most slaves in America are the poor people. You can say indigenous, or I mean, the people who are born here, uh, um, natives to the land. You know, like because slavery it did not end; it transformed. Right? If you work in 40 hours a day or 40 hours a week and you can't survive, you can't get a house, you're a slave without a house, right? But most people that are working way more hours for way less got like 38 roommates. That's your new slave quarters. Um, and it's just like when they tell you to inject something in your arm, you do it. You just got to go along. You don't get health care for all. You get mandatory vaccinations. You know, they always got a crisis to justify the next shit they want you to swallow. Um, and a lot of people, they just go along to get along, and it's just like they working too long to realize they're a slave. So why not let African get the freedom and enjoy the resources? Uh, well, the real thing, we just need to, the people who are stealing resources, who are hoarding them, um, bring them to justice. Like I'm open because I know it's going to be a lot of people who just want to guillotine them. I'm open to the conversation. I'm not for the guillotine. I'm on the team that wants to see them languishing in poverty, right? But the guillotine team, they can show up. They can make their argument. I just want it to be a democratic process so we can finally experience what democracy actually feels like. Because up until now, we've never done that. They choose two criminals. We have to choose the lesser of two evils. Nobody wants anybody who's ever been in office. We never had a good president. You know, I voted for one person who made it to office, Barack Obama in 2008, not in 2012. Never again. They fooled me once. That's why I say shame on the Republicrats. Right after that, it's just never. I mean, last person I voted for was Jill Stein when we talk about national elections. And I voted for her. She's someone who also was able to meet in person. You know, she showed up to the community. She had something for me to vote for. Um, and I'm not saying voting is going to solve anything. I'm just saying people say you gotta vote. I did the whole voting part, you know. But I think the real solution is getting out in them streets, making them scared. You know, like Chris Hedges, he talks about the memoirs of the war criminal uh, who passed recently. What's his name? You see, he sounds like a Bond villain. The Butcher of Cambodia. Um, He was working for Nixon, and this was around 1971, May Day 1971. It was the largest civil disobedient movement to date in America. Everybody was marching on Washington. Like it was just the streets were flooded. The White House had to surround itself with buses to prevent people from breaking through. Right, and then you had Nixon sitting there, um, and he was scared. He was rubbing his hands. He was terrified, and he tells the butcher of Cambodia, he's like, he was talking about what if they get through, and they were like just shivering in their boots, shaking about like the idea of everyday people breaking through into the White House. And Chris Hedges is like, that's where we want the people in power, because that is where we want. If we're afraid of them, that's tyranny. If they're afraid of us, that's more like a democracy, right? That's how we have our will reflected in their policy. But they haven't been afraid of us, right? And after that, they made sweeps. They started locking people up indiscriminately. You had the Powell Memorandum. It was Lewis Powell, Supreme Court Justice. He wrote a memo about if you don't want these movements taking place, we got to squash them. We got to invest in corporations. They have to own the media. They have to own the education system. We have to control every facet of information to prevent them from knowing how bad they're being fucked and coming together. We got to turn them against each other, divide and conquer. And I would say we're pretty thoroughly divided. Do you feel conquered? Because I feel like they've been doing some conquering. As a studier of indigenous cultures and languages, I hate the projected erasure. Let's not move roots from Africa in the antithesis of Black ethnocentrism. Well, I'm for embracing just the actual history, right? The thing I really hate about Western culture, they call it the end of history whenever Western societies start to thrive. You know, like uh, um, when they defeated the USSR, it was like this is the end of history. That means that is the end of their history. They're not going to know where they came from, right? When we think of the whole idea of Middle East, right? It's preposterous. That's North Africa. That's West Asia, right? Um, Israel, Jordan, Sudan, Palestine. All of this shit was one structure. Was called um, Kemet at one point. There is no such thing as ancient Egypt. It became Egypt when white people discovered it, right? When all of the symbols that we hold as sacred, like the Ankh. This is where Nikola Tesla got his idea for the everlasting energy that he wanted to give out to everybody. Right, that was created when it was Kemet. Right, then you had like several falls of the land became different places, became Hyksos when the Persians and the Arabs took over, um, and then the white people came and it became Egypt when once they civilized Europe, and then they ended up using technology they got from China, going back, stealing all this, just horrendous stuff, and it's justified in certain people's minds because they're uh, uh, Western societies are run by some of the most entitled psychopaths that the world has ever known. And then you add to that, like like the English aspect, the British, some of the most vile colonizers, right? These motherfuckers are uh, uh they do everything to erase history and act like they're the shit. So there's a Pilltown Man is when they wanted to show that all of humanity originated from England. They made this fake skeletal remains of a missing link that they wanted people to think like, oh look, like the oldest man was in England, and then they even put a cricket bat close by because they wanted to think the oldest sport that man has ever played was cricket. Uh, yeah. Meanwhile, like these motherfuckers are incestuous. So it like like at least the Spanish they stole everything. They were horrible people. But they'd fuck you, they'd rape you before they would kill you. British they'd prefer to kill you. Then when they started having slaves, they had all the features of incest. Nobody wanted to fuck them, so they had to fuck their slaves. And now you got like what is it? The prince, I think Prince Harry, I forget which prince is married to a colored woman. They're like, now we'll openly fuck them now. We got tired of fucking cousins and sisters and moms, and the blue blood we just got too many issues from the incest. So now they're like labradoodles. They started like we're getting too many ailments from fucking each other. So it's just like we got to expand the gene pool, uh, so we're not as sick as we were. But they're still fucking sick. History wrote by the victors. Yeah, they came, they wrote. Oh, what was the quote? It was oh, they came, they conquered, they wrote. Uh, the year isn't even over. What's it supposed to be? Some pope thought he was great and changed the year to a lucky number. You talking about Pope Gregory? This is I don't. The Gregorian calendar is. I was telling someone this. I was like, the year doesn't really start until April. Uh, Gregorian calendar is garbage. August named after Augustus, and it was it July named after uh yeah, because they wanted Augustus wanted the same amount of days in the month as Julius Caesar. Uh, that's why August and uh, July both have 31 days. And this is all serving somebody's ego because like humanity is much older than 2025 years. Like even the Chinese calendar is much older than 2,000 years. The Ethiopians they've claimed to have the Jesus's goblet for like 5,000 years. So it's like we're really stuck on this 2,000 year. And you look into the ancient civilizations, Babylonians, the Kemetic. Um, they both talked about aliens, Anunnaki, planet Nibiru, which orbits every 3,800 years. And I think this European uh, uh, focus on religion is to prepare us for some shit that would like it's going to be outside of our understanding, and they want us to like look back at this garbage book and interpret spirituality through their religion. And yeah, we're not going to be prepared. We are going to be lost unless we could wake up. Unless you wake up, you're going to be trapped here. This vessel. I remember with someone while I was doing a live show. They were like, "Yeah, I used to think what you were saying was crazy until Russell Brand said it, right?" And then I ended up looking into Russell Brand, and I fuck with a lot of what he said. However, like he's recently become super duper Christian, and it's just like I feel like people like that is just he thrown in there to throw people off off the scent, you know, because I don't get my religions from monarchs. I'm not gonna have my understanding of spirituality given to me from a known enslaver, a proud enslaver of people. That's not to someone who I feel like could be distributing morality. Man has messed up what's around him so much. Yes, I'm a popcorn hollow earth thinker. There are some cave dwelling motherfuckers in this world. I can believe it. I mean, I see it all the time. Greed destroyed the beautiful things from nature. Well, yeah, greed destroyed nature. And we are nature. So greed destroyed us as well. And now, like we can't even recognize ourselves in each other. Like we just you look at how everyone treats their own neighbors. Back in the 30s when they were coming for the houses, neighbors stood together. They went with shotguns to their neighbors who were being evicted's house, and they were like, they're staying. And that's how that solidarity is what prevented what happened in 2008. You know, um, but we lost it by 2008, and that's why 2008 happened. But I love the concept of history also being today. Black people exist today and can make changes today. I mean, yeah, can unite. I'm looking for spirituality, not religion. Indubitably, capitalism harms nature. It does. And I didn't realize I was going for so long, but I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I gotta be up early, and yeah, I'm a crack out that employee evaluation and the new rewind of 2026. Shortly, they're gonna be over at Netflix.net. Stay tuned. Thank you for the donations, the ones that you're gonna send because I haven't gotten it yet. And it's my birthday. It's coming up in April, so basically, it's my birthday. Trade and barter, but not in a devious way, but amongst community. Well, that's what they're doing in Jackson, Mississippi. They got like a barter system that should be studied. And then, well, it's a long, long story. Yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date. But yeah, I got some travel plans, and that's yeah. When I get closer to the South, I'll let you guys know because there's some Mississippi folk I want to catch up with. Erotic, much love, brother. Much love to you. Happy New Year. I hope this year is going to be better than 2020 for you and 2025 combined. It's going to be dope. So don't forget to be good to each other. Peace. Let's unite. We need this revolution, silly geese. End it now. End it. End